everyone, my name is Karen Peabody. I am the owner of Forgewell Solutions and Supervision Circles, and we are here today with Liz Petillo, and she is a fabulous counselor in the office of Forgewell Solutions. So we are thrilled to be talking to her today about her private practice and some of her interesting case consultations. So Liz, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What would you say, like, I think there's an interesting kind of discussion in kind of therapists and social work circles of, can people coming right out of grad school go into private practice? And I believe, first off, I think anybody should be able to do whatever they want to do as a profession. Like, this is a craft that you have to kind of be drawn to, you have to really be motivated for. But, there is this push of you need certain amount of experiences before you go into private practice. But I think one of the things that I'm always, plagued by is graduate school was a ton of money for me, and I went 15 years ago. I'm still paying it off, and I will not pay it off until my son is a senior in high school and he is 10 years old. So I've been paying it off this whole time. People getting out of graduate school now paid 3 times what I paid. They cannot even live working in this field if they don't make the most money that they can. And the most money that they can is private practice. I don't know anything else that pays more. So
No.
I feel like we need to really support our young people in private practice, and maybe we need to help them. Maybe they're not going to be the perfect therapist for everybody, but I think it's almost our duty to keep the field alive, to help our young people come to private practice. Of why not?
Because I also hear like a big complaint from people who see therapists in agencies is the turnover rate. Because they have all these new therapists that are just going there for licensure hours. They get licensed and they leave because they can't afford their bills. They're trying to pay off their student loans. Like, it's not effective. So I think any way that we can support new clinicians and learning how to be really good clinicians, to be really good business people, create their own business, not only is that going to be helpful for our clients so they can have a more long-term or continuum of care, having the same provider to work through whatever issues they need to work through, that's going to be the best for our community. Having rapid turnover isn't helpful for anyone.
Right. And hopefully, agency work, you don't always get, especially like fee-for-service agency work, the opportunity to sit down with supervision. Everybody's working because either they're on a split, 60-40 split, so if they're not working, they're not making money, or they just don't build it in to sit down and have supervision and sit down and have group supervision for the young people to ask questions. And also, I could say, like, I feel like I might be in the middle of, like, I'm not a young person, but I'm not like the most seasoned person. I'm kind of in the middle. And the young people also bring such an interesting, they know about social media, they know about the changes in regulations with like DCF filing and all the new stuff coming out of, they really do bring a great energy to the office, and everybody is learning at the same time.
Yeah, like every person has their own vault of knowledge, so why not share that with everyone?
And create a space for them to really step into that role, because I think that they don't think that. Like, of course, you just got out of school and you're really scared and nervous. Like, they don't know that they're an expert in X, Y, and Z fields, So I think it's a really nice opportunity. Like, I think it's almost our duty to help younger therapists, social workers, like, create their own private practice if they want it.
Yes.
So that kind of leads us into this other company that we're starting to develop that hopefully everybody in Forgewell Solutions gets a piece of. It's a consultation company called Supervision Circles that's really trying to mold and build therapists that need clinical or business support or both, creating a community and kind of being able to have pop-up meetings, pop-up webinars, group supervision, and just kind of dealing with all this stuff. It's almost, we do a group supervision at supervision circles the first Monday of the month, and we kind of just sit down and talk about our issues and questions of now we want to kind of bring it to all of Massachusetts.
Yes.
So, can you tell a little bit, particularly about what you're interested in when you're providing case consultation?
I really like helping clinicians figure out what their expertise is in and how they can feel more confident in their abilities. Because I feel so much it's their insecurities that can get in the way of like, no, you're the expert, like you know this, and being able to trust your gut. And in addition to that, it's going to be able to share the knowledge. There's so much information out there that isn't always taught on grad schools that we get through more advanced trainings, or tips and tricks that aren't necessarily talked about. How are you able to navigate these difficult situations? Or how do you document this? Or how can I best support these really like competing values or perspectives from either parents or kids and parents, or agencies, if it's DCF involvement or DMH, like how to make them all work together to really serve the best interest of the client.
It's such a good, valuable conversation, because if you're working with kids, there's no way getting out of, dealing with all of these agencies, schools, parents, and some of it's reimbursable and some of it's not. It's all necessary. So to really hone in on your skills of like how to work best with them, and also like helping clients, which would be therapists, find their niches. Because everybody has a niche. I think when I went to graduate school, it was kind of poo-pooed, like don't back yourself into a corner. Don't really pigeonhole yourself. And I always thought like that's the best way. Like you can't do everything. I'm always leery of like therapists that'll do everything. They see couples and families and individuals and kids and teens. Like I get in front of a teen and I'm like, I don't know. I see adults dealing with trauma and substance abuse. Like that's what I see. That's where I'm comfortable. That's where I like vibe out. Like sometimes I'm talking to people and I'm like, I don't even realize what's coming out of my mouth because it's just flowing because I'm so comfortable in that place. And then like you can physically really feel a difference. Like, if somebody comes to me with an eating disorder, like I don't feel as comfortable treating eating disorder. So I can almost feel myself be like, okay.
Yeah, like all the insecurities comes out and it's like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Like, oh, I don't know. But like, and really deciding like when should you refer out?
Yeah. And really I'm very quick to, I'll talk to you on the phone. Like if you want to come and see me, I'll talk to you on the phone. Let me see what you need. And I'm very quick in knowing, do I do it or don't I? And it's really, really helpful to have a team of therapists in the office that I can say, I don't do it, but you can call Liz.
Yes.
Probably doesn't have an opening. But maybe. But
maybe a wait list.
Yeah, even if it's really nice of, I always think like, okay, you see the kids, and I think Kat sees the teens, and some of the new people, what they see, and Margie sees the couples, like that is just so helpful, even just for me to like have that available, because I hate saying no to clients.
Yeah, and not necessarily knowing who to refer them to, like not outside of Forgewell Solutions, like operating a private practice by yourself, like you get all these referrals, you don't necessarily know like the other people, or you try really hard to manage a referral list, but like maybe they're also not taking them, or you might not necessarily know their clinical skills or abilities or like what their niches are. But I feel like since being at Forgewell, we have all these amazing people working together that we see, that we talk to, that we consult with. And it really helps us make the best referrals and the ways to really find the proper therapist for our clients.
Absolutely. And I think when you don't have those answers, you don't know what to do. So you stop answering calls. And as a
Yes.
business person, that is the worst thing you can even do. Even if you cannot see them, know you're not going to see them, know you won't be a good fit, and know you don't have anybody for them, return their calls. Like, they reached out to you, you said you could do something for them, they thought you could do it, they reached out for you, and to not return their calls is so not only like detrimental for them because it takes a lot of courage for them to make those calls, but disheartening, maybe preventative of finding other help. So I can't even tell you how many times people say to me, well, you're the first person that called me back, which breaks my heart.
Yes.
You know, and also I can't even tell you, like, when I call somebody and say, I'm so sorry, I can't take you, like, I just don't have time, and X, Y, and Z might be able to take you. First of all, if they call me a couple times, usually I give in. I shouldn't say that out loud, but like, then I'm like, God, this person has like called a couple times. Like, you got to respect that, right?
Yeah. Dedication.
Like, all right, now I got to work with you. And also, like, just, I think that this is about a relationship and an energy exchange. Like, they really know I care. Like, I'm sorry we can't work together, but I do care about you. Like, I want the best for you, even in this small exchange. And they'll say, hey, I called you like 5 years ago, you couldn't take me, but you were so nice on the phone, and we talked about a couple things you could do. Like, I just wanted to call again to see if you could see my aunt that's really looking for somebody. You know, I know it's a couple years later. I'm like, wow, okay, or, I'll try it too. But this is really like, we stepped into a role where we want people to ask for help. So if they're asking for help, even if you can't help them, don't ignore them.
Yes.
You know,
And I think even those small interactions are like super meaningful. Like,
yeah.
we may not be thinking that we're doing any work or any service, but like, we're answering their call for help, or directing them in a way where directing them to a place where they can go.
Maybe you can just give people an idea of where they can find you if they want to kind of reach out.
You can find me on Forgewell Solutions, on the therapist page. Myself and all the other Forgewell clinicians are there. But I specialize in kids and adolescents and young adults who have experienced some sort of trauma, anxiety, depression, interpersonal struggles, or family relationships, to really help repair or work through some of those issues so they can really have meaningful lives moving forward.
If you're looking for Liz, if you're looking for more information about forgewellsolutions.com, all the information is there. And the consultation company that we were talking about, Supervision Circles, you can find information at supervisioncircles.com. And feel free to email me at info@supervisioncircles. I will answer any questions you need. And we are having a free Zoom call September 23rd, Wednesday night at 7:30, just to go over some of the things that we have for coming on the call and RSVPing on the call. You will get a free tips guide for the first year of starting your private practice, some tips and tools you are helpful of needing. So hopefully that will be something that we'll see you there about. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.